like to call it the cumulative effect.
I'd like to say what?
You like to call it the cumulative effect, where it takes about.
What would you call it that would be better served?
No, I know that. But
Okay.
tonight there was no, it just didn't seem like there was any need for a cumulative effect that worked right off the bat. Did you expect that from the way they've been pressed before?
In all honesty, I thought they did a great job. I thought their spacing was really good. They did some really nice things. We turned a bunch of people loose to the goal, which we really don't want to do. I thought their game plan was really good. I just thought our ball pressure was much better than what's been. I thought our ball pressure was very good. You know, it was more of a. It ended up, because of what they did, more man-to-man than they did zone press tonight, and really it's a zone press. They just kind of made us play man-to-man, and when you got somebody like Buddy Hill down there, you've got to pay attention to him. You don't want him to break pressure and throw the ball to him. So I thought our ball pressure was very, very good, and I thought everybody that we brought in really added to it. But I do think, though, David, I think it still was a cumulative effect. I don't think that some of their guys were as effective at the end. That had to do a lot more than probably what they normally have to do in terms of handling the ball and bringing the ball before it gets pressure and that kind of thing.
It seemed like all the things you talked about being bad in the last game, passing, needing Adrian and Holton to come along, turned around. How did you manage to get that to happen in a couple of days?
Well, I think we watched 4 hours of film on Sunday. You know, and it's hard to hide in the film room. You know, when you just keep looking at it over and over and over again. I think they walked out of there not thinking, but knowing that they had to do a better job. I thought Nate was terrific. Nate made some huge plays for us. Got his hands on balls, made steals. I thought he was really good. And you know, when you think about this, and a lot of people now are, when you think about it, they're using their bigs to try to break pressure. So now they've got to bring the ball to the floor and then try to get it to a guard so they can get into whatever they want to get into, or a ball screen or whatever. And then when the shot's taken, then John Holden runs like he does run now. And so he runs like crazy the other end. So now you're sprinting like crazy to try to catch him down the other end so he doesn't get a layup. And then Wani does a good job of pushing it. So if he's open, we're going to get it to him. And so they just constantly run, which you don't do every game. We do, but they don't. Other people don't.
Coach, is this the best example of what you were talking about earlier in the season about wanting your 12 to be better than their 12 or your 13 to be better?
What Tony said at one time in the game, I don't know, this is Tony's stats, it's not mine, but Tony said at one time our bench had 40 and they had 40.
Right.
That's pretty good.
For most of the game, none of those 40 or 86 went by Jawan. Can you imagine a previous time when he could have gone essentially scoreless and win by 20?
Probably not, but I thought he was really good the second half. In terms of, he had 8 assists, and I'll bet you he had most of them in the second half. And he controlled the game. He controlled the game for us, and he got us into what we needed to get into, and you know, we moved the ball. I think I said Velcro fingers. We had, you know, the Saturday game, and we had a couple guys that kind of started that. So I took them out and let them sit there and watch people pass it for a while. Maybe that'd be a great teaching tool for them. And you know, we're better when we pass the ball. We get penetration when we pass the ball. It just opens up driving lanes for us. When we stand and hold the ball, they're gonna run to help.
with Nate this whole time. Was there ever a time when you thought maybe I'd put him aside for a while?
No, Nate does a lot of things. I mean, trust me, it's a whole lot better when Nate makes shots, but Nate does a lot of things.
Bob, I know you were worried, or you said that you were worried about, let down, close loss to Iowa State, similar to Oklahoma State. I thought the team came out with a lot of energy tonight. I mean, is that what you preached, what you expected, more than you expected?
No, because I think this is a much more competitive group. But I felt like I had to bring it up and I had to talk about it because you don't want one loss to lead to another loss. And that's kind of what they preach in professional sports. If you lose an extra inning game in baseball, you don't want to lose the next day because you lost an extra inning game. You thought you should have won. You should have won. The same thing in basketball. The thing that all those guys that talked to me about, coaching in the NBA said the one thing that you will have to learn is just you can't hang on to a loss. You gotta let it go. And that's hard for me. That's really hard for me. But I had to do my best to make sure that they didn't.
Are you happy with where you are heading into the Texas game?
No, I'd like to be 17-0. I think we very well could be. I think we could be 17-0. I think we let a couple get away from us. You can't do anything about those now, but I'd be a lot happier if we're 17-0.
Coach, what about Javon? I mean, he was actually kind of showing off a little bit at the end there with making all the threes. Have you ever thought of putting him in the starting lineup?
No. Because, Mitch, we don't have a platoon system, but I have to make sure that we have guys that can do certain things with, each unit that's in there. I can't have three perimeter guys in there that guard like crazy, but, they're not a perimeter threat. You still have to have some balance. And he understands that. I mean, Javon is kind of about a lot of things, I think, is wise beyond his years. But he comes from a great program, great tradition, great program. He used to win.
Do you see his ability to play defense at the level he's at so quickly contributing to his confidence?
Well, I think that's what attracted us to him to start with, was he got his hands on an enormous amount of balls. And like every time we watch him, we're like, man, he gets his hands on so many balls, and then you watch him a little closer, and he's got pretty decent ball skills, and he can make shots. He's competitive as can be. He's really competitive.
Bob, I want to let you enjoy this, but I have a question for Saturday.
It wouldn't be you if you did let me
Well,
enjoy
timing's everything, right? And your front court played much better today. Is that important going into Saturday, or do you think that your quickness defensively is a good counter to their size, a good enough counter to their size?
Well, I think they're different, totally different than what we faced Saturday and today.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have George Niang who can handle the ball and pass the ball. They don't have, I thought Thomas had the ball just a lot of times for him in the first half. I don't see their bigs doing that. Now they may come down and set a screen, or they may come down and get it inbounds, but then they're going to look for somebody to pass it to. They're not going to try to advance it, I don't think. Now, Jonathan Holmes maybe they're playing him at 3, so it's an entirely different problem.
Is there any way you can, I don't know if simulate's the right word, but Devin and Holton are going to have to prepare for 6'9", 6'10", 260, 270 now. How do you get them prepared for for that over the coming days?
Well, probably the same thing the people of Texas are saying. We hope they don't shoot us out of that 2-3 zone, because how are we going to keep up with those guys? They're as quick-witted and long and fast as they are. You know, we have to take what we do well and try to do it better than them doing what they do well.